So to start my set, I started by creating the drums. So I loaded up the 909 core kit, and on this channel it's just the kicks, so I named it Kick, which is this channel here. And then I made a clip of 1 bar with every one having a kick drum on it, and that sounds like this. The one which I got it to sound the way it does is I boosted the low gain and the high gain, as well as the drive amount and the drive tone, and put the vintage to full. The glue it about 1/3 of the way. I did this because the kick drums in trance tracks are pretty overloaded, pretty distorted, and as well as this, I did an EQ boost at around 46 Hz by 12 dB to give that like buoyance when the kick hits. And then from there, I made a Hats and Toms channel using the 909 core kit again. So first off, I did an offbeat open hat, and the next one is a variation of like an open hat beat with some closed hats in it. And then next up from there is the tom, the same alternate hi-hat beat with the panned toms. Oh no, the next one after that is the one with a clap, sorry. So it's the same hi-hat variation, but I've added a clap on the 2 and 4. And then comes the toms one. So I've panned the low tom far left and the high tom far right, get that stereo image. And I've got another one where it's just them toms. And the way in which I got my tones for them is these are from the 909 core kit, for all the sounds other than the toms. The low toms are Tom 80s space, which I got from within the stock plugins, and then the second tom's a 505 tom ASR2. Then to get like the tonality I've applied an EQ, a compressor, and then a really large reverb, as well as an auto filter where I've put like a resonance peak on to get that real like peak to it. And then on the on the overall channel, on the overall track, I've got an amp clean with a gain up and a cabinet on a 4x12 to give it a more like realistic live sound to it rather than the stock like digital sound. And then if I move over to the other tom clip, I've used similar settings, but this one I've pushed the drive on the sampler, but then I've used a different EQ setup, then a compressor, small hall, and an auto filter. But with this one I've used a notch filter to cut out a certain frequency range, which gives it that higher tom sound. And then as for the open hats, I haven't really done anything else. I've just left it as the stock sound. And then next up from that, I've got the 909 kit snares. The snare rolls are all on one channel. So as you know, like it builds up, and I layer the snares so it gets like louder and more low end as it builds up, to give it more impact. That's just like a random roll that I've added that'll play at certain points. This one's a loop. The others are just one shots. This one's a loop. It coordinates with the toms. And then finally after that, I've got a long build up. In trance tracks, there's a lot of long wind builds up, so I created one of them. And it uses the snare as well as the hat